Hey, my name is Marc Miller. I am the instructor for jazz bass here at Kennesaw State University, and I am presenting this video as a little how-to and some things to think about for the GMEA 2026 jazz auditions. We've got two etudes. Number one is a written out melody, and number two is improvising a bass line and a solo over the changes to Autumn Leaves. So let's look at the written out one first. Several things going on in here you might want to think about. We're starting off with triplets. I would try and keep those all on one string. So C to B, D to C, E to D. You don't want to do open D to C. That's going to feel a little awkward. It's hard to get the articulation right on it. So try and keep those on the same string. Also, I would recommend just attacking the first and third of each triplet. So leaving the middle one. That way you can kind of smooth out the articulation. It still sounds like a nice phrase, but you get a little definition. That third note, if you don't reattack it, might be a little too weak, so it helps it cut through a little more. When you get to the 16th notes in bar 8 and bar 12, those are going to straighten out significantly, so don't try and swing those too much. Bar 14, that's kind of a little tricky one because you're starting up high and you're going back down to the lower positions. I would recommend playing this one with your second finger on E and your pinky on C, and then sliding back to A. Like that. You can try and play it more or less in position in the middle of the neck. Doable. The tone gets a little wonky in the lower strings down there. But that way you're trying to keep most stuff in one position, a couple notes up top, and then you're shifting back to a position on the neck that you probably feel more comfortable with. The last thing I would suggest for your metronome, when you're practicing this, it's great to practice it with the metronome set at the tempo. If you can, it's a little tricky to do at first, but set the metronome at half the tempo. So what you're going to hear today is my metronome at 40, all right? So that's half the tempo. Think of those as beats 2 and 4. It's like the hi-hat and the drum set. So it'll kind of help you sink into that swing feel a little better, all right? It does a lot of other good things for you too in terms of developing time, but in terms of playing this with the right swing feel, it'll kind of help you get over that hump if you're used to playing more straight stuff, getting into a more true swing feel. So here it goes. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready. All right, so that's the first one. The second one is playing through what are basically the changes to Autumn Leaves. Let me bring up that music for the backing track. So the things you want to think about are, of course, your root movement. You want to make that clear. Really pay attention to the chord qualities. You want to make sure when there's shifts between major and minor, you're really nailing those changes and getting those thirds very clear. And you want everything to sit in time. If you're relatively new to improvising and walking bass lines, then you might want to stick more with arpeggiated lines. 1, 3, 5, 7, and try and make those work out with the chords. If you're a little more advanced, you can start throwing in some passing tones and stuff. I'll try and cover a little bit of all of that, but just so you can kind of hear a demonstration about what the walking bass line would probably sound like, or what you might want it to sound like when you're playing it. I'll do that, and then the second chorus is going to be an improvised solo. So there are different ways to go about that as well. You can play to the chords, really outlining each chord, or think in a kind of a bigger structure and think of just the key area. The advantage of that is it really frees up your brain to kind of create more melodies instead of worrying about what's on each individual chord. So here's an example of what Etude 2 might sound like. Cool. I hope you find that helpful, and good luck on your auditions.